So for today, we should start with what a medical device is. What the FDA has to say about it is a medical device is an instrument, apparatus, implement, machine, contrivance, implant, in vitro reagent, or other similar or related article, including a component part or an accessory which is recognized in the official national formulary or the United States Pharmacopoeia or in any supplement to them, intended for the use in the diagnosis of disease or other conditions, or in the cure, mitigation, treatment, or prevention of disease in man or other animals. So when we kind of look at the spectrum of what that means, as far as what is or what could be counted as a medical device, you know, let's start with the defibrillator. That seems pretty obvious. That is a device. It has an electrical function, but it is, you know, primarily, you know, a box, a contrivance. It's performing that on you, so that one will count as a device. What about some kind of a sample tube? Yeah, the answer in this is it really can depend, because if one area of devices would be products that are kitted, and so it's definitely possible that some sample preps or for instance, in oncology, you have a lot of different sampling of tissues, and you might kit the device that is going to withdraw the sample with tubes or other things that would be used to store that tissue. So in that context, that would be counted as a medical device if it's being sold together in a kit. So it's just something to think about. You know, we might just be thinking about the thing that's actually withdrawing the sample, but if you need that to use your device and you're selling it with it, that's a device. A stethoscope, that's also a device, mechanical function outside the body. An Epipen, any thoughts on what that could be? Yeah, it has a disposable element to it. Yeah, so this again, it's not a straight device. It contains a drug that is intended to be delivered. But if you're intending the user to use that device to be able to puncture themselves with it, that aspect of the design in that case for those types of products was reviewed by the device branch of the FDA as the drug folks focused on the actual drug that's being delivered. So that's considered a combination device. There we go. This is a sample of knee cartilage, Carticel. This is a Genzyme product. So this contains a biologic. Any thoughts on where this one fell? This actually counted as a device in how it was reviewed because of the mechanical functioning of the implanted cartilage. There is definitely a biologic component to this as well, so it also received review from CBER. So there is definitely overlap that can happen in these kinds of products, and the FDA will bring in relevant people, but they really like to use that mechanical function element in a lot of what they base on their decisions when it comes to involving the device branch. What about a nanobot? There aren't any products yet that have this, but what do you think? Is it possible this could be something that would fit that device design? Yeah. Yeah, definitely, especially if you are primarily just mechanically delivering something and it's not dependent on maybe, say, like the state of diseased tissue to trigger. That would probably fall more into one of the other branches depending on how you're triggering. So what about an antibody? I mean, on its own, it's a biologic. But again, there are definitely products out there that have, as a part of doing diagnostic work, an antibody that is lined within a cartridge or a chamber that you need to inject a material into to judge. So in those cases, we're talking about a possible combination as well. And so that would, it really connects back to thinking through how it's used and what's touching it and what are all the steps that you need to activate the antibody. A balloon catheter, that's a pretty straightforward one. That's a pretty mechanical intervention in the body. What about a liquid embolic product? So this would be a product that you inject into the bloodstream and it actually reacts in situ to become some transition from a liquid to a solid. Anyone? Yeah, this is considered a device because its primary function, once it gets there, is to actually, it's not metabolized and it performs a mechanical block of an artery. Yeah, so that falls under the device branch. Heart valves, also devices, very mechanical function there. Even if you have a tissue component on a valve, those still fall under device classification because of the function. Band-aids. Band-aids are medical devices. They're low classification, low risk medical devices, but they are definitely medical devices.